welcome to our GratiTuesday. My name is Karen, and I'm one of your capital recovery coaches.
Hi, I'm Raina, and I'm another capital recovery coach. Today we are talking about gratitude, like we do every Tuesday. So we left off last week talking about, the different ways that you can show gratitude, and this week we're going to talk about gratitude letters. But before we get into all that, we have a lot going on here at the center. We just wanted to tell you about. So on Tuesdays, we have our meeting here, the GratiTuesday at 7. And then at 5, we have the Men in Training MIT Mentoring meeting. And we also have our coffee and conversation every Tuesday at 2. So there's a lot going on today for you guys to come join in on or log in and join us virtually.
And we also have our Recovery on Wheels bus. This Thursday, it will be out at the Spirit and Truth Ministries in Vineland. Same time, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. And we also have our All Recovery meeting still every Thursday at 1 p.m. It is in person or virtual, your choice. And then we also have open house coming up. We have our first one is going to be held on Thursday, June 2nd, from the hours of 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. You do not have to stay the whole time. You could just drop by between those hours. You can get help with social services. We will have light refreshments and snacks. And it will give you an opportunity to come meet us in person and tour the facility and hear from some state and local officials. And then on Tuesday, June 7th, that would be our next open house event. We'll also have a food truck and fun wellness activities. That's going to be held from 5 p.m. to 8. And then finally on Saturday, June 18th, that's going to be held between the hours of 11 in the morning to 2 p.m. So it is family friendly, all of the events. We will have fun activities for kids and ice cream. So come out any of those days or all 3 days. We would be glad to see you here.
Then we also have a couple of other things going on outside of the center here. The first one we have is on Tuesday, June 7th from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. And this is at the lot across from the courthouse at 43 Fayette Street here in Bridgeton. It's a Judiciary Opportunities for Building Skills Job Program, Career and Resource Fair. So they said you come out and bring your ID, a resume if you have one, for potential on-site interviews. They're basically hosting this as a resource fair to connect job seekers with local employers and agencies. So if you're looking for employment, this may be a very good opportunity for you, as well as the virtual hiring event, which is June 22nd. Time to be determined. But the New Jersey Division of Vocational Rehabilitation, in collaboration with the Office of Federal Contract Finance Programs, is holding a targeted job fair for individuals with disabilities and veterans with service-connected disabilities. You can find more information about that. Where? I'm looking. Register. There it is. At njdvrsbot@dol.nj.gov.
If you need that link, you can reach us at 856-391-7449, and we would be happy to provide you with the links.
Okay, so we're going to get into our topic of the gratitude letter tonight. So we pulled this article off of intelligentchange.com, and it's how to write a gratitude letter to a friend or a loved one. So if you've been keeping a gratitude journal or or for some time now, and you've discovered the amazing benefits of gratitude. Perhaps the time has come to share the joy of gratitude with people that you love. Gratitude letters have been a thing for quite some time. One of the first scientists to research the therapeutic effects of gratitude letters was Dr. Martin Seligman from University of Pennsylvania. He discovered that writing and delivering gratitude letters on a weekly level could skyrocket happiness levels among his participants almost immediately, and the benefits would outlast any other intervention. So what is so special about a gratitude letter? The writer of the letter is not only one benefiting from its magic. The recipient of thank you letters are affected even more than we think. In a series of experiments, Amit Kumar and Nicholas Epley asked the participants to write gratitude letters to people that have touched their lives deeply but haven't been properly thanked for that. The senders were also asked about their opinion on how much the letter will affect the recipient. When the researchers contacted the recipients, they discovered that the senders vastly underestimated the positive effects of their letters. Another study published in 2020 revealed that the benefits of thank you letters exceed one-on-one communication. They can improve the dynamics for entire groups of people. A group of researchers led by Sarah Algo discovered that merely witnessing the act of gratitude also has a profound effect on people. When people witness an expression of gratitude, they see that the grateful person is the kind of person who notices when other people do kind things and actually takes the time to acknowledge them, meaning they're a good social partner. So just taking like a little bit of time to, acknowledge someone else for doing something good in your life kind of has that ripple effect. It gets passed down to the recipient of the letter and gives them for some gratitude for having someone in their lives that is showing gratitude. You see like the the cycle here.
And it's also a nice way to remind yourself and others that you do appreciate them and you are grateful for them. Sometimes we do get caught up with our lives and forget to say thank you so often. So that is also a good way to remind others that you're grateful for them. So steps to writing a gratitude letter. If you want to acknowledge how grateful you are, if you feel like a person you care about, like a friend, colleague, or partner, is going through a conundrum and could use a bit of support, you should send them a gratitude letter. It boosts self-confidence, deepens the relationship between the sender and the recipient, and sheds light on perhaps forgotten yet beautiful experiences you've had together. We've compiled this list of things to consider when writing a gratitude letter.
Right, so the first thing is to pick the recipient. Decide on whom you want to address your letter. Do not write a generic letter that you'll forward to several people by only changing their names in the header. Highly personalized letters are the best way for both you and the recipient to benefit the most from gratitude. I think that's really, really important. Because while like picking up a card, from the store is thoughtful, but it's very generic. So, personalizing that letter to someone specific will really like emphasize, like on that deep personal level that, hey, you are the person this was intended for. I thought of you only when doing this. So the simplest way to pick a person to write a gratitude letter to is to ask yourself this: is there someone who has made a significant impact on my life that I have never properly thanked for? It could be a friend, family member, teacher, mentor, or someone from work. I know like some places that I've worked in the past, they'll have like where you can like write a little note to another employee, like, oh, I noticed you did this, that's really great. And then like, you know what I mean? They put them in either anonymously or not. So sometimes just those little things, if you're having a bad day, it can be a nice pick-me-up. You can also choose a person you haven't seen or thought about in a while. Some people might think that after years have passed, it would be awkward to contact the person again, or bring up the topic. Yet, as the previously mentioned research has revealed, in most cases, it isn't. If you're not sure who are the people you should write your letter to, try to remember the days when you spent self-isolating and ask yourself, who were the 3 or 4 people you missed hugging the most? So that's kind of like, I don't know, that's nice. Like for me, if, you know what I mean? Like when I had COVID and I'm at home and I'm like all by myself, but my sponsor came and dropped off food on my step. You know what I mean? Just like, you know, being grateful and saying, hey, you know, that meant so much to me. And, you know what I mean? That sort of thing is a really nice way to like pay it forward. And I find too that, you know, as you go through and you start to show your gratitude to certain people, that it just becomes like a habit. So now, like, when at first it might be a little awkward, like eventually, like you can, you know, keep going with it and make those connections and build those relationships.
And it's also, for me personally, I feel like gratitude letters or just even gratitude notes, for me, it's easier to express my gratitude in writing rather than just telling somebody like face to face, oh, I'm grateful for you. I think that's as far as I go from face to face. So,
yeah, when you're writing it down, you have more time to think about it, like exactly what you want to say, but you know, just saying like, oh, hey, thanks, I appreciated that. Doesn't have the same effect.
Yeah.
So yeah, absolutely. Writing it down is always good.
So what to do if the recipient is no longer alive? It's desirable that you choose someone who can respond to the letter. But if you feel the need to address one of your letters to a person who is no longer with us, why not? They won't be able to reply, but you will discover a therapeutic benefit from writing this letter, as it will ease your soul and help you reintegrate the past experience with that person.
I like that. I think that's a big thing when it comes to making amends or like very therapeutic, you know, to be able to go out, maybe, you know, grave site or someplace that was special to you and like just sit there and tell them basically. I know like sometimes I will, you know, visit my grandmother's grave or my best friend's grave and just talk to them. You know what I mean? And this is what's going on in my life. You know what I mean? You taught me this and I'm trying to do, you know, just stuff like that. And, you know, it can be very therapeutic. I know a lot of times you have like the activity of like writing the letter and, you know, reading it and then burning it. You know what I mean? It's supposed to kind of release that, I don't know, not guilt or maybe guilt or whatever you're dealing with. It's kind of a way to like let it go.
Grief even.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, I used to, but I haven't done it. One of my aunts passed away, I think in 2015. And when I would run often, not anymore. I would run by the cemetery and I would just sit there and talk to her and, you know, just thank her. So this is just giving me a reminder that maybe I should revisit that activity again.
Yeah. All right, so choose the medium. Some people prefer keyboards over pens and pencils, but on some occasion, longhand writing has its own special touch. Writing a personalized thank you letter to a person dear to you is definitely one such occasion. The same way when you fill out the 5-minute journal using your favorite pen while thinking about the amazing things you're grateful for that day, the experience becomes more intimate and stays with you longer. I have found that while I am a big fan of the keyboard and like doing things on my laptop, sometimes that physical action of taking a pen or pencil and writing something down has just more of like profound, I guess. Like you're giving the words their own like life. You know what I mean? And like I said, like you write with your favorite pen. So you might pick that pen up and be like, oh, it makes you think of whatever it is you're writing about. You know what I mean? Or you might be like, oh, like, I don't want to use that pen. But But I think that's a good way to like personalize it, especially when you're giving it to somebody, like typing up a gratitude letter and printing it out, just I feel like wouldn't have the same effect as, you know what I mean, coming in your own handwriting.
Yeah, even the little scribbles, like when you make a mistake, give it just that much more meaning also.
Yeah.
So longhand writing versus keyboard typing. Apart from the fact it's more intimate and personal, there are other benefits to longhand writing a gratitude letter. First, you may find it far more inspiring and mindful. You are creating an inscription with your own hands.
Mm-hmm.
As you move the pen over the paper, a clear trace of ink remains. While it's a bit more abstract and generic when you type, the process of hitting the letters on the keyboard doesn't naturally correspond with the final product, making the process a bit drier.
Yeah, very formal.
Mm-hmm.
Like I always picture things like on the keyboard, like, you know, I don't know, like work related or just like, yeah, like very like cold.
Another reason is that longhand writing requires preparation. You need to spend some time thinking about what you want to say and consolidate your thoughts. While that's not the case with the digital letter, you can write and delete an endless number of times in a Word document, but that's not the point of the gratitude letter. A gratitude letter shouldn't be a trial and error process you go through until it sounds nice. It should be a fully conscious process led by a clear idea and intent.
I struggle with this because I am a writer and I look for all like, I spelled this wrong, or that's not correct punctuation, or was this a run-on sentence? Like, did I really want to put that here? Like I will overthink the hell out of something when it comes to writing. So, but I'm learning, right? Because like being in a 12-step program, they tell you like when you share or when you know, want to talk about something to like not think about it beforehand. Just let it come from the heart. And you know what I mean? So that's been helping me kind of like, okay, like I don't need like PowerPoint and cards to tell you how I feel. Like I need to let it come from the heart.
Yeah, whatever's running through your head.
Mm-hmm.
If you still wish to proceed with typing, that's fine. However, make sure to print and pack the letter in an envelope. You can even decorate it by adding a photo or other details you come up with.
That's cute. All right, so the next would be creating a narrative. A gratitude letter is more than a simple thank you for being there for me card. It's part of a broader narrative of a highly personal relationship you have with the recipient. To create more context, reflect on these questions. When did you and the recipient meet? What are your first memories of your relationship? What was your life like back then? What has the recipient done for you? Why and at what cost? How did that make you feel? What do they mean to you? So these are just some like initial questions to kind of like get your mind flowing, get your heart flowing, and think about, you know, what you want to say to them and why.
So the writing process. Now that you have a clear vision and idea of what you want to tell, it's time to start writing. You may like to begin by stating why you are writing the letter. Perhaps something happens in your life that made you realize that you haven't thanked the recipient when it was time to do so, or you've just celebrated a milestone that made you think about them. Maybe you read an article or a book that inspired you to reach out to people that left a positive trace on your life. This kind of introduction statement is a good start.
And I've been doing this, I think I shared last time, I'm on my 9th step, which is the amends process. And so far I have written a letter, you know what I mean? So in this case, I want to make sure that I, you know, say the right thing and I put thought into it and I don't say anything, you know, off the cuff that may cause more harm. But like I usually start out by explaining like why I'm doing this, because for some people they might look at me like, okay, like why are you telling me this? Like so like, because if it's something, especially if it's something that happened a long time ago, they might be like, we haven't talked in 5 years, what's going on here? So sometimes making it clear is being like, listen, you know what I mean? I'm working on making amends, and you're one of the people that I owe that to, and, you know, letting them know why in the world you're doing this.
Yeah, if you don't feel like going too much into details, you can simply state what you are grateful for. You can continue by expressing why and how they made an important impact on you and how they made you feel when you spent time together. Perhaps this kind of honesty requires some courage, but on the other hand, you've had the courage to initiate this process, and openness is the key here. Being raw with your emotions is a good thing.
Yep. So then use your own style. Just because you're writing a letter, that doesn't mean you have to get official. So like the work email. The gratitude letter writing process should be simple. Write as you speak and think. If you naturally use irony, sarcasm, or humor relief, feel free to include them in your letter. That's something I use often. Don't worry too much about grammar, just like you don't when you chat with someone. In other words, don't overthink it. This is a letter of sincerity, not a literary piece competing for a writer's award, which is everything I just said. Doesn't matter if you spelled something wrong, like you're not going to get points taken off. So if for some reason you get a little anxious about what to say and how, remember that most likely the recipient won't be reading the letter thinking, oh, this sentence doesn't sound very nice. Oh, here's a grammar area, caught it. They will much more likely think something like, this is nice, or oh, here come the tears, this is very touching. So it goes on with my mom every time I write her something nice. So feel free to write either a traditional letter with your thoughts poured into sentences, or to add bullet point lists, illustrations, and so on. Find your style. That's kind of cool, because I think some people might not be as good with words, but you know what I mean? Like to draw something or like include a little something that, you know, means something to them and the person that they're giving the letter to.
I have a little memory box, and I actually do, I keep every single card that I get, either for my birthday, graduation, whatever the occasion is. So it was funny because 2 weeks ago, I think I was cleaning my room, and I just revisited my memory box, and I was reading some of the letters that my friends gave me when we were younger. And one of them had like a little picture, and I was just, you know, laughing and remembering. It was nice. So
yeah.
Is it my turn?
Yeah.
Finish with a compliment. When you reach the end of the letter, make sure to compliment the recipient somehow. Tell them how you will always remember them, what they mean to you, or notice and underline a good personality trait they possess. You can also suggest for you two to meet again.
I think this is really important because you could go and tell them why you're writing it. You could like express gratitude or remorse or whatever the case may be. But if you don't point out something about them that means something to you, I feel like it could kind of lose its intentions. Like you want them to know that you appreciate them and why. So if you like the way that they help you do something, then like it's important to mention that. And here you go, keep a copy to yourself. This is what you were just talking about. Just like the recipient will probably put your letter in a memory box, you could do that too. Take a photo and save it in a special folder, or make a photocopy you can save in your memory box. If you decide to send a lot of these letters, you can later compile a gratitude letter set with nice covers, pictures, and additional commentary. Do like a little scrapbook.
Oh, that is
When I did my kids when they were younger, like I put all different things from different events, and you know what I mean, and keep it all together.
If possible, deliver the letter in person. In case you and the recipient still live in the same town area, it would be best if you could deliver the letter in person. Such an act adds a bit to the intimacy and contact and underlies the importance of the letter. If this is not the case, and you simply can't plan a visit to the recipient, we strongly recommend sending the letter via traditional mail through the post office. You'll probably agree that receiving an envelope addressed to your name is much more exciting and emotional than receiving an email.
Oh, absolutely. I get so excited when something comes in the mail for me that's not a bill.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean? Just like a little something here, a little something there. Like even if it's something that I ordered, it's like, it's very exciting. Because like people don't do that anymore.
Yeah, everything is electronic.
Mm-hmm.
Text
message.
Snapchat.
Yeah. I think it's really exciting to do something like that. All right, so steps to writing a gratitude letter. We're just going to kind of summarize everything that we just talked about. Choose who you want to sincerely thank in your life. Someone who has made a positive impact and has never received a proper thank you for it. Choose the medium of communication. We recommend writing a letter by hand, but typing works too. Think about the recipient. What do they mean to you? What are you grateful for to them, and how they have impacted your life? Open your soul and don't be afraid to go into detail. Worry less about grammar, spelling, and style, and more about the message you're trying to convey. After writing the letter, analyze your feelings, sit with them for a while. I think that's a good one. Like, when we don't think we really talked about that in here though.
No.
But yeah, kind of reflecting on how the process makes you feel is pretty important. And then keep a copy of the letter for yourself as well, as you want to return it at some point in the future.
And our final words. Writing a gratitude letter is by far one of the best ways you can surprise someone dear to you. Recapitulating a positive past experience with a person who did something great for you in the more or less recent past is beneficial for both you and the recipient. Keep in mind, good deeds are addictive. It will start with you and the one recipient, but as you discover the joy of sharing your gratitude, you may find it hard to stop afterward. So like what Raina said, keep making it a habit.
A
good habit.
In my glove box, I have a box of blank cards, and all they say on the front of them is blessed. And I keep them so like if I'm in a meeting and someone's celebrating, I can like write a little something to them, specifically why like I'm proud of them or why they touched me in some way. Any little impact that they may have made on me. You know what I mean? To let them know about that, like, hey, what you're doing matters. Keep doing it. So yeah, because sometimes I'll show up and I'll be like, oh, I didn't know this person was celebrating. There I go.
So you're always prepared.
Yeah. Because then there's stuff like that means a lot to me. So you know what I mean? I want to pass that on and make somebody else feel like, hey, we notice what you're doing and appreciate it. So with all that being said, Karen and I both wrote gratitude letters. Do you want to go first? Or do you want me to go first?
You can go first.
All right. So like I said, I've been doing making amends, right? So I've done my cousin and my mom, and the next person on my list is my dad. So I figured I'll take this opportunity to kind of like start to think about what I want to say to him. And obviously, when I sit down with him, it's going to be much more than this. But I figured this exercise was a good way to, you know what I mean, get those juices flowing, and you know what I mean, so I can like lead into a good direction. So first thing I did is tell him why I'm writing this. I wanted to take this opportunity to tell you how grateful I am for all you do. I know when something comes up, whether it be to help with a problem I'm having, something I need fixed around the house, rescue me from a flat tire, or if I just need to vent, all I need to do is call and you are there. I can count on you to attend events for the girls, my children, be present for holidays and countless other things. Your willingness to show up and be a part of my life is invaluable. You're an amazing example of what it means to be a dad, and I'm very lucky to be your daughter.
Wow. It was very nice indeed.
Thanks.
So for me, I wrote it, to my mother. I don't think I tell her enough how grateful I am for her. So it says, "Dear Mother, I can't thank you enough for all the support, love, and guidance you've given me. Even on your most cloudy days, you find the energy to listen to me and take interest in my life. Without your fierce love, I would not be the person I am today. Thank you for teaching me to take on life's challenges head on, which has given me the tools to prosper through adversity. I hope one day I can repay you, or at least come close to, everything you've done and continue to do for me. I admire your courage and determination. I hope I am making you proud. With a grateful heart, your daughter, Karen."
Aw.
I'm about to start crying.
I feel all warm and fuzzy now. Like, this works.
I know it makes you feel really emotional.
Yeah. And it's nice to, like it's nice to hear yours.
Yeah, it was
you
really-
know what I mean? Like, I like that a lot. So you guys come in and join us on Tuesday night from 7 to 8 and, take part in some of these activities that we're doing here, so you can feel warm and fuzzy too.
And thank you to all those who joined us, and thank you, Mike, Melissa, and Craig, for watching us and commenting. We hope to see you guys next Tuesday.
Thank you.